My first guest tonight has appeared in numerous films, including Dead Poets Society and Reality Bites. His latest film, Hamlet, opens on May 19th. Please welcome Ethan Hawke. How's it going?
It's going good. I'm feeling very cool. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a nice. You get that reaction everywhere you go, pretty much.
Yeah, it's weird. Delis.
Delis,
you know.
yeah. One guy. Woo. You know, I'm a little shocked because you show up on the show tonight. You've dressed very well.
Yeah,
you look spiffy. You look great. You're one of those celebrities who's been making the worst dressed list alive.
I've made it pretty consistently too. I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah. Do you think it's an honor, actually?
I did. You know, my mother called me up the first time it happened and said just that. She said, "I bet you think that's cool, right?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, you know, that's a dubious honor, but I'll take it." And she said, "You know, people look at that and they don't think you look cool. They think, who raised him?" And
that's so funny. It's just like the first thing a mom would say.
I know. It really upset her. She told me that she had dreams from my great-grandmother coming to visit her and telling her how upset she was about it. It got very personal. I probably shouldn't have taken it that direction.
No, but what...
Ghosts, things like that.
But what's so funny is that I remember when I went off to college, my mother said, you know, if your eating manners, the way that I ate my food, doesn't improve, you'll make no friends. And we're thinking like, Mom, you know, this isn't 1915 anymore. My mother had me when she was 180 years old.
Do you have friends?
No, I have no friends. Mom was right. Yeah. I used to just pour the food into my open mouth. Now, it's strange because we heard that you're always making the worst dress list, and we went and we looked at photos of you arriving at things, and I don't see it myself. Take a look. This is a photo of you and your lovely wife, Uma. I like that. And then we found this other photo of you going to a movie premiere. And
yeah. That was the prom. Yeah.
That's what you're wearing underneath that suit right now. Now, I understand that you're an interesting guy. You've been on the show before and we talked. You like to write.
Yeah.
You're a thoughtful guy. That you have this practice of writing letters to yourself.
Well, I used to do that when I was...
You used to do it.
When Dead Poets Society came out, you know, I was 18 years old, and it really altered the course of my life at the time. You know, it's kind of a popular movie, and I got really paranoid that something would happen to me and I would turn into somebody that I would really hate, you know? And so I used to write these little letters to myself about, you know, just these idealistic kind of versions. And
like stick to your dream, don't sell out, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
And you would mail them to yourself.
Don't start dressing like the people
and
you dressed as.
You would mail the letters, and are the letters like a time capsule? You're supposed to...
Well, I didn't mail them, you know. I mean, I didn't have a time machine, you know, but I would...
You know what's so weird? Is I would have mailed them. I guess I'm kind of stupid. I'd be like, oh, there we go. And then I'd mail it, and then I'd get it back and be like, what? Oh!
Yeah, I think I probably have them in a drawer.
You have them in a drawer, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to look at them someday? Like, you know, open them up and...
I guess. I mean, I think a lot of it was about, for some reason, I actually really wanted to have a family. I think, now that you're asking me, I mean, I think that's what they were about, that I hope I didn't get totally just sucked in. You know, a lot of young actors don't make it past 21 or 22.
Or they do a movie or two, and then suddenly they sort of get full of themselves, and they get ground up.
You know, and you end up like 35 and a drug addict and having a terrible time, and I was really trying to avoid that.
Right.
But I haven't. I'm 30, and I just got out of rehab.
And you're dressing well. That's the important thing. If that's one thing rehab can teach you. Now, your life's changed a lot. You married to Uma Thurman. Everyone knows that. You have a kid. Does having a kid, does it make you sort of a little more conservative, a little more, you know what I mean? It's one thing when you're like a 21-year-old kid, or as you were saying, an 18-year-old kid. Yeah. When you're married and you have a kid, does that change you in some way? Are you sort of more serious about things?
I think it does. I don't know. You don't have kids, do you?
Not that I know of.
No.
I have a legal team combing the country for babies with giant pompadours. that are moving too quickly. Yeah. Goo, goo, goo. You know. That's one.
I don't know. It changes you some. I think that it does. I get a lot more. You know, I get, especially having a daughter. I get a little bit paranoid about. You know, when you walk around the streets, there's so many images of young women being totally objectified. I mean, I start to sound like
you mean
a
like
Republican.
magazine covers?
Magazine covers. Everybody looks like they're a porn star, you know, and everybody's.
Those are porno magazines.
Yeah, I gotta stop buying those. I gotta.
What's happened to these porno magazines? I'm looking at the cover of these porno mags, and it's just like when I was a kid, they were wearing different nothing.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how it changed me. It's still changing me.
But you're noticing that more. You're noticing like, okay, there's too much sort of. I know what you're talking about. Like, definitely the standards have changed. Even legitimate magazines now, you know, the women are wearing next to nothing.
Yeah, you never saw Meryl Streep like showing her butt crack on the cover of. Can I say that?
She was on the cover of Butt Crack magazine.
But that was much later in her career.
When Sophie's Choice came out. She talked about it there. Well, let's talk about this project. You're the youngest actor to play Hamlet on film. On film, which is kind of a cool thing. Hamlet was, of course, played by Olivier, who at the time was 40.
Yeah. And when I read it, I always kind of imagined it more as a Holden Caulfield or a, you know, I mean...
Troubled youth, yeah.
Yeah, it seems more like a young man's kind of emotional journey. So that was one of the fun things about getting to do it. You know?
We have a clip here. Is there anything you need to know for this?
Well, the cool thing about the movie is that it's all set in New York in 2000. It's kind of all adapted. And so instead of a play within a play, you know, Hamlet did a play to try to catch Claudius.
Right,
and so in this one, he makes a movie.
Right.
So it's a movie within a movie as opposed to a play within a play.
Which is a cool idea. So is it what's in the clip? Is this you making the movie or?
No, this is me showing the movie.
Okay.
I've made this film, and now I've brought everybody in to watch the film I've made that's going to reveal Claudius's guilt.
All right, let's take a look at this clip from Hamlet.
Hi, lady, shall I sit in your lap?
No, my lord.
I mean my head upon your lap.
Aye, my lord.
Thinking I meant country matters?
I think of nothing, my lord.
Well, that's a fair thought to lie between a maid's legs.
What is, my lord?
Nothing.
You are merry, my lord.
Oh, God. What should a man do but be merry? For look you how cheerful my mother looks, and my father died within 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
So long? Nay, then let the devil wear black, for I'll have a suit of sables. Oh, heavens, died 2 months ago, and not forgotten yet. Why, then there's hope that a great man's memory may outlive his life for more than half a year.
It's always, in any context, it's always cool to hear those speeches.
I know. It is. Julia Stiles is a great actress. She plays
Julia Stiles.
Yeah, she plays Ophelia.
And we
she's
had
really
Kyle MacLachlan came through.
He plays Claudius. Bill Murray plays Polonius.
It's very neat casting.
Yeah, it's fun.
Hamlet opens tomorrow in New York and Los Angeles, and then in select cities May 19th. Ethan, congratulations on the family and everything.
I love your show.
Things are good. Oh, well, thanks for doing it. Thanks for coming by. Ethan Hawke, everybody. Jerry Springer is coming up. We'll be right back. Stick around.